Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is DK from DK Plays. I hope you are having a fantastic day, no matter where you are in the world. And you might be saying to yourself, DK, that's a rather flat looking desert that you're in. And you'd be wrong, because it's not a desert, that's why. Okay, this is not a desert, and let me show you why. Because we are above glass. And that glass goes all the way around the square. It goes all the way down there. It goes down the other side. Comes back all the way back to here. And the reason being is we are on top of an ocean monument. And I have a piston on one of the corners. And I've got to do a little bit of redstone work. While I do that redstone work, why don't you have a quick look at how we got to this position, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So the sand drop didn't work as planned. It was still pretty spectacular. The lag was amazing. 68,000 sand and 3,500 signs. It was spectacular in its failureness. That's a word. A spectacular failure, should I say. Probably a better way of putting it. But in saying that, a lot of the sand is in place. A couple of places I need to fill in, like these two spots here and 2 spots down there, and maybe a few around the rest of the perimeter. But for the most part, it's filled the sand in. Now, I had left the structure of the ocean monument in place. I had stripped out the interior, but I hadn't taken the actual structure down. So I think for the next take, I don't want to take the structure down. Really what I wanted to do is I wanted to raise the structure from the bottom of the ocean to the surface. And I could probably reconstruct it from this, but gee, it's a big mess. So I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to open a backup world, and I am going to strip out the monument, and then I'm going to dump the sand again, and hopefully we can end up with a flat cube of sand. From there, we'll build something in this place. We're going to build in a guardian farm anyway. I was just thinking it would have been nice to have the structure of the monument up on the surface, so we could call that our base. We could have our villagers in there and an iron farm. But as I said, for the most part, it's filled everything in. There's just a couple of spots that it hasn't. And what I want to do is jump up on the top and see what it's like. Oh, the lag is still there, even though I suppose there's all those entities on the ground. That's probably what it is. It's causing the lag. Like, you can feel that. Okay, well, apart from the lag, I'm pretty happy that most of the sand has gone into place and it's drained out most of the water. Right, so let me jump over into into a backup world and get rid of the ocean monument. I'll see you in about 2 seconds, but it'll be a couple of hours for me. So 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Let's see what this does. The poor lamb is going to cop it. Oh, and Johnny is going to cop it too up in the left-hand corner. He's going to drop to his death. So look, if this clears out most of the water, I'll be happy. I would like it to clear the entire thing, like just be a completely solid block of sand in there. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Still going to be quicker to just fill in the rest of the gaps. Every time I do a guardian or an ocean monument, I do it slightly different. So the first time I done it, it took, I think, 2 weeks for me to do all the sand because I placed in the sand by hand. The second time I done it, I used the comparator dispenser redstone torch, redstone dust thingy, where it would dispense it to me instead of me having to have it in my inventory, so I could have a big hopper chain, and then I would just have to move it every so often along the line, which wasn't so bad. The next time I done it, I used sponges, so I done the grid thing and done sponges, and it was just, it took so long. I can't even remember how long it took, but I know it just took forever. And at that stage, you had to actually cook the sponge. You couldn't just go to the nether like you can now and place it down and pick it back up again and it's dry. So and then this time I've used this method, which is putting all the signs onto one sign. In case you didn't realize, that's what I've done. On the face of the piston, I put a sign, and then I put signs on top of that sign, or on the front of that sign all the way across, and then signs on those signs. So as soon as I broke the first sign, all the other signs broke. Now, by the looks of it, there is a lot of sand that's not actually going in there. It's breaking up. You can see it on the surface of the water there. A lot of those are signs, though, because there's over 3,000 signs. 68,000 blocks of sand, which was 53 shulker boxes, which was a lot of sand. It took probably about 15, 16, maybe even close to 20 hours to collect the sand. Because I'm doing all of this without a beacon. If I had a beacon, that'd be great. Now my shovel, or my 2 shovels, are efficiency 5, which is great, and they do work rather well, and they are quite quick in breaking the sand up. But just breaking the sand, picking it up, putting it in boxes, it just took so long. So the next season that I do an ocean monument in, I'm going to try and work out how to use the flying machine to do it. I think that would be a fun thing to do. However, it's still a lot of sand gathering, so that part of it won't change. What could change is swapping out sand for gravel. If I was to do a piglin bartering farm, they barter and give you gravel, so I could in fact just make a gold farm and a piglin bartering farm and barter for all the because you get other drops as well, so it might be worth it. Something I'd have to check out. Well, later on in this season, we'll probably end up making a gold farm and a bartering system, so we'll check it out then and find out what kind of rates we get on gravel. So now, coming up in one of the future episodes, we're also going to do a wither skeleton farm. In the last episode, the episode before last, we killed the dragon and we got a whole heap of shulker boxes. The dragon, I don't mind fighting. You stand a fair chance with the dragon. The wither, for some reason, every time I spawn it and try to kill it either in a cave or underground or above ground, he just totally annihilates me. So I will be cheesing it with the wither when it comes to that. I will be using the portal in the end where the dragon recharges or sits and recharges, whatever he does, whatever she does. I will be using that method to kill the wither, which also allows me to collect wither roses, because you do a chicken farm and collect a whole heap of eggs and break them in there and wait 20 minutes and then spawn a wither. Now usually it takes 2 withers to kill all the chickens, but if you've got splash potions of weakness or splash potions of harming, you can throw them in with the chickens once they've grown up, and then 1 wither will do. So it looks like all the sand has actually dropped. That sand that you can see on the screen right now is artifacts. They're not really there. It's just the Xbox is having a really hard time, a seriously hard time, rendering everything. I mean, you know, you're talking 80,000 items. Oh, there, you see, they disappeared as soon as I moved. So let's get down here. How much? Oh, well, I guess it didn't clear it out as much as I thought it would. And the lag is something rotten. Although in saying that, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like, it's 3 blocks, maybe 2 in most places, 3 in a few places, and maybe a couple of 4 or 5 spots. Yeah. I'm just going to quickly do one thing before I decide whether I'm going to keep this and fill it in. And that is, I'm going to jump out of this world, pull up a backup world, and set it off again and see if we get a better result. So bear with me. Oh, well, it'll be a second for you. It'll be a couple of minutes for me. I'm going to have to call this a day for now. I've been working on this for the last 55 hours in gathering sand, smelting glass, building up, getting the wood for the signs to do the sand drop, placing all the sand in, doing the sand drop, retaking it, doing the sand drop again, filling in the bits that the sand didn't fill in, taking all the sand out, building up this farm that doesn't work, getting this together. It's been around about 55 hours worth of work, and I am absolutely exhausted, and I'm feeling a little bit burnt out on this. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to forget about it. I will go off and do something else and come back to this. I need to make an improvement to this farm. I want to put a pressure plate in the AFK spot with a piston column coming down with a redstone block on the bottom, so when you go up there and you stand on it, it starts the farm up, and when you leave it, it turns it off. So maybe in another episode or two, we'll come back. I want to do a little bit of research and find out. I know you can do portal farms for the Guardians, and that may be something we have to do. So I will come back to it, because I really want the Guardian farm. I really want this whole area to be my home base. I want to get villagers in. I want to get farms anywhere where the Guardians are not spawning. Like, Guardians are spawning in that corner. I believe they'll spawn in the first 8 sections here, and then maybe the last 8 sections on these 2 corners, and maybe 1 or 2 in the middle. But if I done what I've done over there on all 4 corners, that should give me enough Guardians to get decent quantities of sea lanterns, and all that stuff there, that's without lighting up any of the caves or lighting up outside. That really needs to be lit up out 120 blocks in all directions. So there's plenty of work to do on this area, and over the course of the season we'll get to do all that. Just for now, I need to take a break and do something else, because I'm absolutely exhausted with this. It's driving me nuts. I'm getting incredibly frustrated at the fact that things aren't working the way they're supposed to work, and I have another world that I used to play offline, and I may just jump. In fact, I will. We'll jump over there and we'll have a look at the Guardian farms that I've made over there, because I have 2 of them. And let's do that now. So I'll see you over there in a sec. So here we are in my other play world that I have stopped playing because I started recording YouTube. This is it's either El Mango or Nembomb. I'm not sure whoever done this farm. It's the cross with the lava and the water drops and whatnot. And in this, I get no spawns at all. No spawns. Absolutely nothing. But I really like this floor design, and I also like the fact that you can just jump straight out. It's just got this massive water wall. And what I had done is that wasn't the first farm that I built, by the way. I built Cub Fan's Fenscape one with the soul sand. Again, got no spawns at all. Originally I had them coming across and down here, and if we just pop down in here, had this whole area built out. This is where the killing chamber was that I wanted to use, and as you can see, nothing. Now, you might say, but you've got an awful lot of sea lanterns for someone who doesn't get any spawns. Well, that's true, because I found another ocean monument. And let's see if I can remember where it is. I haven't been on this world in a couple of months. I haven't been on this world in a couple of months, so I think I remember where it is. I think it's down here to the right. The beacon effects have worn off. Yeah, so I found another Guardian farm while out exploring and ended up having a go at it because I didn't want to tear that one down, and I built another one because I had plenty of time. I wasn't doing anything else, and I came up with my own design, and it works quite well, but it's very slow. I got AFK overnight and I might get 2 or 3 stacks of sea lanterns, but I would get an awful lot of fish and an awful lot of shards, but not crystals. And as I said, it was slow, but it works. So this should take us right into the AFK spot when we get to this. Now the portal down here. As you can see, it's quite a distance out from the other one. I think it was something like 12,000 blocks, somewhere around that mark, away from the first one that I just showed you. So, but this one I'll show you, and it'll give you an idea of why I was able to do that small little section with the campfires. Oh, actually, I think this might take us to a little island beside. If I remember correctly. Yeah. So this is the little island that I used to house everything while I was draining it and building it out. So there you can see it now because the beacon effect is taken on, and I filled everything even down below with sand, and you could just make out the campfires there. Oh, if I just pop down here. So what I done was I have water sources from there to the top, and I have fence. I've got signs, and then underneath I've got flowing water back down to here from both sides. Campfires with hoppers going down to a central column, and it's exactly the same on the other side. So I've got 4 of those platforms. And now the one thing that I did find was that if I AFK'd way up there, you just see it up there, I would get less spawns than if I AFK'd down here. You just down here. So I come in here, and then I would dig straight down here till I come, I think it's to another sea lantern down the bottom. Alright, so this was my AFK spot, and all I would do is put a piece of glass above my head here, and I'm fine. So let's pop our way back up. One sand there, and then, oh god, this guy. So this turned out to be quite good, but it was very expensive for hoppers. Although I did have a pretty fantastic iron farm, or do have a pretty fantastic iron farm. So I would get them coming in from that side and also from that side. I had AFK here overnight, and I would get quite a few spawns. So the other thing is I have 3 slabs. So I would break these 3 slabs, I would walk down there and I would cover this over. And and I just had a little window there to see up. But llamas seem to be the most popular thing that spawns in here. Well, nothing else is supposed to be able to spawn here because these are all slabs. But it doesn't even look like I'm getting any... Oh, there's guardians down there. So the guardians, they take a while because they swim around up there and eventually they'll drop down low enough to fall through the fences. Or the signs, sorry. That's why it's so slow. It's because they swim around for quite a long time before they get down and then get sucked along. Once they go below the signs, they can't get back up. So they end up falling into the campfires and they die and then their items get transported over. But I don't particularly want to do this kind of farm over in the other world because it was a lot of work and it was, as I said, it's very slow. And I would prefer to do something a bit faster. So I'm going to take a break from the Guardian farm. I've got a blaze farm to build. I've got other things that I want to get done. And we'll come back and revisit over in the Guardian farm later on in the season. Maybe 2 or 3 episodes from now, when I'm feeling a bit better about it and I've done a bit of research. Basically, I'm going to off camera try out the nether portal, and if that works then we'll adapt it and go from there. There's one over there. So anyway, my name has been DK from DK Plays. I hope you've had a fantastic day. I know this has been a very, very long episode, but it was worth pointing out that things don't always work the way you want them to work. Things don't always go to plan. And sometimes you've got to change what you do in order to be successful in it. So I do hope you'll come back and join me again real soon. Please hit the like, subscribe and notification bell, and I will see you in the next episode. Have yourself a fantastic day. Bye now.